already know you. I'm not gonna beg you to listen to me. You ain't got to worry about me wasting no more time on you.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
You must listen. What I'm about to tell you will change the course of history.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm not draining myself. And that's what y'all ass don't get, cause
you're in the matrix and you need to get out.
In Yiwu City, no middleman, no commission. 20,000 cards starting at $1.
I'm Chinese. I do clothing business in Guangzhou. I have my own factory. Cheap price, very good quality. We need agent who can sell my product in their own country.
About Birkin, but this one is special. You can tell that the flap and the handles are made of Himalaya crocodile leather, while the rest of it is made of calf leather.
Thanks so much for being here today. Thanks for liking and subscribing as you enter. I want to also thank those of you that have already been members of the Matrix Study Hall. Welcome back. So let's go ahead and get into this changing trade landscape. Okay, we're going to be focusing on how there's a lot going on in regarding to the future of U.S. luxury goods, because with the raising of tariffs, now China has decided to play hardball. China has decided to go direct to consumer. China has exposed that a pair of forces costs maybe $2 to $5 to make, but they're upcharging us to maybe about $180, $200 or more dollars. And so with this new exposure of information, you know how like years ago people were getting things like, if you go to particular cities, like if you go to Canal Street in New York, if you go to I can't remember the other place that's well known in California, but if you go to certain places that have counterfeit products, you know, you can get like the dupe or the so-called knockoff version. But now China has revealed that all of the things that we're being charged at extreme rates are actually coming from them. So those things that we thought were knockoff products are actually the real deal. They're just, you know, somebody got a plug, somebody actually was able to get a direct contact. And so now this is changing the whole dynamic when it comes to luxury goods, when it comes to even, for instance, now like Charlotte Russe, Forever 21, Abercrombie and Fitch, you know, these are just a few brands, but there's so many brands that are now going bust. They're going out of business since a lot of people are finding out how to contact these major warehouses to get direct buy, and they're literally cutting out the middleman. And so with this happening, this is definitely going to change the economy. And although they may have thought that, okay, you know, we're just going to raise the rates on China and, you know, try to really bank off them, China has definitely did an Uno reverse on the U.S. economy. And so while this can so-called protect domestic industries in the short term, the broader economic effects are going to be more complex, because the majority of things we get actually come from particularly China. So for U.S. businesses that rely on global supply chains, tariffs means not only higher costs for raw materials, but also the finished goods. So these costs are often passed on to the consumers in the form of higher prices. As I mentioned about, you know, you may want a particular shoe or a particular purse, and they're selling these things, they're making it for $2 to $5. I think the highest they said was maybe about $10, but they're upcharging you quadruple that price. This is definitely changing the game. So in some of these industries, tariffs offer temporary relief or leverage in negotiations, but now that China is directly having their manufacturers and their warehouses, like even as I noticed on TikTok, there's a lot of these business owners, they're saying, hey, you know, we realize that they are upcharging you all in the US, you can contact me directly and you don't have to go through the chain stores. So this is a plot twist that they did not expect. And it's kind of like, technology has a lot of advancements, but this is one of the things that they see as a casualty of technology, because you no longer have to go to Foot Locker. You can just go to the direct plug and get what it is that you need. And also, in regard to this response, okay, the U.S. increasingly aggressive stance on trying to finagle these other countries out of imports and also their distribution is like, when it comes to platforms such as Amazon, when it comes to TikTok, okay, because TikTok is literally like a Temu or a Shein. It's like an Amazon per se. These platforms, which is why they were targeting and wanting them to be shut down, is because it's literally cutting out the American stores that were upcharging so many of us. And they're also able to keep prices very low and also control branding and marketing. So this is a huge advantage when it comes to this digital economy. And this move not only allows Chinese firms to bypass some of the pressures of tariffs, okay, but this is completely reshaping the retail and the logistics when it comes to the US. So many American retailers and also their wholesalers are now beginning to compete directly with Chinese and other foreign sellers who often operate by very thin margins. Okay, so this shift also highlights a broader trend. China isn't just the world's factory anymore. It's increasingly a branding and marketing powerhouse. And this kind of hardball, a direct to consumer play, signals a more confident, assertive China that's no longer content to stay behind the scenes. So it's like, this was like a trade secret that a lot of people wasn't aware. When you would have people trying to get a Louis bag or a Chanel or a Birkin, and you're paying what, $5,000, $10,000 for this particular purse, China has spilled the beans and say, hey, we can make that for you for $20. That is like, literally, we were being robbed and did not know it. And so this is definitely a historical trend that's happening right now, because the United States has levied these tariffs on imported goods, and they thought that it was going to be a way that they could squeeze even more money out of these foreign manufacturers. But now the game has completely pivoted. And this is a full-on reshaping of how business is being done. So by going direct consumer through digital platforms, okay, they're avoiding the high costs. Okay, and this is also making the market when it comes to products to be even more competitive when it comes to a worldwide platform. In particular, when it comes to Alibaba and AliExpress, they're already leveraging this model because, they I don't know, maybe they didn't have a clause to say, okay, you can't say that these products are made from these companies. I don't know, maybe they're just so egotistical to think that they will never be given up. But these Chinese companies are letting everybody know, like, this bag that you guys are doing all this stuff for, these shoes that you all are taking each other out for, they're not really $200, they're $10. So this is making a major impact, and a lot of people are going to be able to come up, because now they have the ability to bypass these companies and go direct to the manufacturer. And this could be an opportunity for people that are business owners. This could be an opportunity for people that are having like some type of clothing business. They can really rack up. They can go direct to these Chinese vendors and manufacturers and get luxury goods for the low. And they don't have to upcharge them the way that these mainstream stores do, but they can actually charge in a way that they can still get a good percentage. They can still get a quality product and also sell them for a far below the average price. Okay, so second, this is also eroding the exclusivity of brand experience. Okay, luxury thrives on the mystique that, okay, you have to be upper echelon in order to get this or that product. And so now that the veil has been lifted, now that we see that, wow, okay, so a Louis bag is really $10, you know, this has really been the plot twist that these US business people in government, y'all, this is not really my jargon, but what I do know is that they thought that they were about to really drain these people of their resources, and now they're probably going to be losing out even more. So just be prepared for inflation maybe going up even more. But being that we have technology, we have a way to go direct to the vendors and bypass the shenanigans that's going on in the US. So shout out to the Chinese vendors that looked out, okay? Because they did not have to be honest. They could have said that, okay, we're going to still upcharge, but they were honest. And that's why I really like the Asian culture, because as in general, they are very honest. They really are strong about honesty. So I really respect that about their culture. I mean, it's actually our culture, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, until next time, thanks again for being here. The Matrix Study Hall. Bye for now.